going to say a prayer for us, and then we'll do the pledge.
Our first responder for Trinity Heaven. Father God, first and foremost, we give the honor and glory that you're so worthy of, and mercy and grace that you extend to us every day. We ask your presence, and we thank you for the opportunity to gather in service for this community. We ask that you grant us wisdom, integrity, that you entrust us with the leadership, help us to listen with respect. May all the decisions made here promote unity for our citizens, our developers, and for our staff. These are the blessings we ask in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's begin with the consideration and approval of last month's minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Sorry, I move that we approve the minutes from last month.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Kane, do you want to give us some information on old business?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Just want to give you a quick update. We only have one item that went to the board last month, and that was the Oaks Memory Care site plan amendment, and it did get approved, and we're waiting on construction drawings for that. As you can see, we got a good bit of stuff on the agenda today, so I think we ought to just jump right into it and start with the first.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, first up, we'll open the public hearing for the rezoning request for Titan RV storage.
Sure. All right, so Mr. Folk is presenting an RV storage facility to you today on Titan Lane. This will be the first of 3 requests today for this project. He's requesting a rezoning of Lot 3 of Titan Lane development from C2 to I2 in order to build an open covered RV storage facility. Open storage is not allowed in C2, and it's the first permitted use in the I2 zone. This area is unique, bordered by the railroad tracks to its west and Highway 51 to its east. Currently, we have I2 zone to its west and C2 zones to the southeast and north. Titan Lane is trending into a light industrial area, currently having equipment rentals, construction companies, and multi-unit business warehousing establishment. To its south, a variety of commercial businesses over about our office on Long Wolf. The parcel is tucked away in the southwest corner of Titan, and almost the entire parcel is in the floodplain, which makes this lot very unattractive to typical businesses. Since the design is a canopy structure with no walls, the structure does not have to adhere to our 18 inches of freeboard requirement. It can be built on grade with no need of high extra cost of building the site up. This is actually a really good use for this low-lying land, and Mr. Folk is here today to answer any questions. Just want to let the board know that we did make a public notice in the paper, put out signs, and Mr. Folk also mailed out letters to all the adjacent properties.
Okay. Did we have any response from this?
No, we did not.
All right. Mr. Folk, would you like to speak to us today?
Sure.
About your project?
Yep. Saw some of y'all before in the architectural review committee. Really, it's we've been in front of y'all before with doing some flex space, and unfortunately, it's just not within the budget for what the income will produce. So it's kind of a tough piece of property to try to work with and make something realistic pan out. This is really the next best case scenario. So speaking with Kane and just trying to come up with the best strategy for it that worked for the city, obviously, and also work for us to develop this and potentially have some income on this property. So, what are y'all's questions?
How many? How many RVs will it be able to?
Roughly 120 right now.
You said is it partially in a flood zone or
Almost the
almost
entire thing. So the
entire
railroad track, it slightly climbs out of it.
So if you were to try to build any type of structure other than
Yeah, so right now I think it's like the pond's at 250 in this area. The base flood elevation is 258. So they have to be 18 inches above of that for a large structure. So a lot of dirt.
It just increases the cost exponentially to get it up to 6 foot plus another 18 on the free.
Yeah, and it also would be a pyramid
Yeah,
among
so-
everything else,
Got it.
looking flat out there, so.
Any other questions? The one thing that I know that we talked about when you came through our code review, is there power? There's no power to the
We'll have
individual spaces?
We'll have security lighting. There will be some power ramp for charging batteries, boats, your RVs, just maintenance, battery maintenance, maybe the best way to say that.
But not for the use of anyone storing.
They can, if they want to be able to plug their RV in, there'll be a dedicated 220 port for an RV.
And those will all be set above
Correct.
flood.
They gotta be up high.
Yeah, they'll be 48 inches plus.
Did you look at any, or I guess you're trying to find a use for this lot, I guess. So that's kind of
Going through a couple
what your
things.
goal is, yeah.
It's not working. So this is probably the last run.
And it'll be, like you said, will be covered and there'll be some plants in front of it, like.
Correct,
So
and if you
that'll cover
go,
up.
go to the landscape, so right now, we've got I've got him to, he's gonna install these tall evergreens that'll grow up, and then the screen, the vinyl screen fence will go around the entire property.
So, I mean, essentially
Right.
it'll be,
Yeah, so
once
you,
everything kind of grows out, it'll be good to go.
correct.
And it's tucked back there in the corner now, that
Yeah.
area, so I mean, obviously we don't want it to be an eyesore. We want it to be a clean, good looking facility.
Chris, will you go to the Google Earth real quick?
Try to hide it
To
away.
its south, there is some trees along that ditch line, of course, the railroad to the west. So the trees in that bulk area there are gone, that's already been
Okay.
cleared, but our office is right there as well. But some of that tree line is still there as kind of a natural buffer.
Okay.
And then the cleared lot, that's Burton Banks, which is a construction company, and they've got a gravel parking lot as well with equipment back there.
So the cover is like a metal, corrugated metal kind of roof? Is that what you're-
Staying the same.
Okay. Did y'all look at all that, like, solar panels or anything like the roofs?
We have a little bit, we haven't really dived into the cost point yet, just to see if
If it's worth it.
if it's
That's a
worth.
lot of area.
It's
though.
worth it.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll see. We haven't gotten the numbers back yet to know what the cost is gonna be. Yeah, y'all want some power.
Plug in?
Yeah, talk to me on that. See about that. That's right.
Yeah, that meeting.
Any other questions? Do we have anyone from the public that's here in opposition of this project? Any other comment, any questions?
I just think it's a good use.
Okay. So we can close the public hearing. Does anyone on the commission have any recommendations or missions?
So this is for the rezone.
The rezoning.
I will point out, I guess, we've been over this a few times in the past, the comprehensive plan does have this area listed as, major thoroughfare commercial, not industrial, on the comprehensive plan, which I know is in the process of being redone. We're supposed to, rezone per the comprehensive plan. But I think in this case with the problems with the use, I can understand why they're asking for it and how it fits in with some of the other uses around and with the railroad right there. But I did want to point that out, that we're still waiting on the comprehensive plan, and that's causing problems for us up here. So I was going to point that out.
So anyone on the commission have a motion to either approve or deny the rezoning?
I'll move that we approve the rezoning to industrial.
All right, do I have a second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next up, we've got, same project, Titan RV storage, the request for variance. So I'll open the public hearing at this time.
All right, so the second request from Mr. Folk is a dimensional variance. So due to the design of the facility, the I-2 setbacks are pretty significant. They require 100 foot from the road frontage, and I think it's 25 on the sides. So he's requesting a variance to, although we're rezoning the I-2, keep the C2 setbacks, which is 35 up front, is what you see on his design here, 5 on the sides and the rear.
Does anyone have any questions regarding that?
Just have a few questions on Mr. Chairman, maybe get into this, or was this properly noticed as?
We did, I'm sorry, I should have said that. Yeah, we did a public notice in the paper and put out signs, and we have not had any responses regarding this.
I guess this, again, kind of goes back to, we just rezoned, or recommended rezoning, so, you know, we understand the reasoning to go to I-2 is because they need a certain use, but now we're in this conundrum with the setbacks. It's a bit of a weird situation, I guess, here. I think that's probably a part of the reason this lot was C2 is, you know, it doesn't meet the really dimensional requirements for an industrial, not easily for an industrial use. And, you know, if we have a lot of lots that have this same problem, maybe we need to look at something as far as, you know,
Rezoning bigger areas.
yeah, are we,
Special use, right?
yeah. Do we have a weird conundrum happening where you're darned if you do, darned if you don't, depending on which way you go with the ordinance, you can't get anything built. So.
Yeah, it's a unique situation, I agree. And honestly, this type of use really should be under conditional use under C2.
That's kind of what I was thinking maybe.
And
is the
it's something I
case.
can address to the board too. We're actually working on a list of several things that we want to try to make conditional use, which gives you guys and the board an opportunity to discuss that in a better manner. But yes, we had to kind of finagle some stuff to try to make this use work for our current code.
Yeah, because it seems like the use fits well with the area. If it doesn't fit with the code, then maybe there's tweaks we can make there.
Right.
So that's, yeah.
It's something I could definitely bring up, and it's gonna be added to my list too. We've got a few of these spots around.
Mhm.
That would be my only service. Being prepared, like, we try not to set a precedent if we can. You know,
Yeah, there's a lot of industrial uses we would not want to modify the setbacks for most likely. So,
But if we can use this as an action plan, I think that makes sense.
Be definitely a good case study to bring to the board.
Yep.
To show a reason for it.
I do think it's a special situation with the floodplain, but I do agree. Okay, any other discussion? Is anyone from the public here to speak either in favor or in opposition to? Okay, at this time we'll close the public hearing. And do I have a motion either in approval or opposition for the request for the setback variance for this property?
I'll make a motion, we approve the variance. I don't think we need to include, but, you know, just conjecture, I guess, talking about just setting the case studies moving forward.
I can definitely have the next upcoming meeting, I can bring that up to them.
Can we include that in the minutes to reflect that discussion? Do I have a second?
also,
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. And now we've got the consideration of the site plan for Titan RV storage, which
we've looked at.
Yeah, we've looked at it. There's really no reason for me to read this, but the main thing I want to talk about was the base flood elevation that we kind of hit on. It's, our entire area is about 250 and you would have to bring it up to 258, which is what makes this use reasonable. And I did confirm with MEMA, they consider a structure, a roof and 3 walls. So this is definitely not considered a structure. And I'm talking with Steve, he's gonna have to do our new floodplain permit. And in that, he's gonna have to write an emergency evacuation plan for all the RVs. So that's one thing he's gonna have to provide in order to get his permitting. Is like, when we know a flood's coming, where are you taking these vehicles and what's that process? So he's agreed to that as well, so.
And we're okay on runoff with the.
Yeah, so with it being the stone parking lot, the city engineer was fine with it being a pervious, and he doesn't think it's gonna add significantly to that pond there. It is all draining to that pond.
Okay. And I guess as far as traffic routing through with big truck or big RVs, we've got enough
Correct, yeah.
capacity turnaround in the, yeah.
The main run's about 40, is it 40 foot wide in between the canopies?
Almost about 60.
Yeah, and then he utilizes some of that 35 foot setback up front for that up there in the right corner there.
Right. But it's just the one drive entrance and exit on the
So
curb.
you can make a loop.
Yeah, but only one onto the public road.
Correct, yes, yeah, one entrance, that's right.
And it'll be gated.
Correct.
By,
With security system.
And
we-
landscaped.
Yeah, and landscape, and we did talk about he didn't want a dumpster, enclosed area because he does not want his clients bringing trash, so that's not gonna be provided.
And that's a keyless entrance out front, in front of the gate for them to get in, right there.
Is that right?
Any other questions? Comments? Do I have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll move that we approve the site plan.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on, at this time, we'll open the public hearing for the request for conditional use for the Maverick at Titan Lane.
Yes, Mr. Todd Carter is presenting his new project over in the same area, Titan Lane Development. It's called Maverick, and it'll be making three requests as well. First up is conditional use request. He's proposing 4 multi-unit buildings on lots 9, 10, 11, and 12 in this development. Units will be comprised of 60% storage, warehousing, and 40% office space. In the C2 zone, enclosed storage requires a conditional use. The site plan's attached, and they've met all the site setback requirements, landscaping, parking, and each building has its own enclosed dumpster area that will match the building exteriors. The lots are less than 1 acre, so retention is not required, but since the parking lots all tie into each other, the amount of runoff is a concern for the small development detention pond down in the south end. Currently, the development is designed for open ditches to drain all the way to the pond, the southern part of the development. And the owner is willing to create small retention ponds if needed or widen the ditches to slow the flow in big rain events. They recently went through the art committee, and the roll-up doors along the front facade were a concern. The new architectural standards prohibit roll-up doors in the fronts of buildings, but they are not yet adopted. Art recommended relocating the doors to the rear or installing roll-up glass doors. They have offered a compromise to add some windows to the roll-up doors, and the new elevations show that. Relocating the doors to the rear will not work for this design, the way the parcels are oriented. Mr. Carter and his designer is here today. We did make public notice in the paper, placed a sign outside, and today we have not had any comments on
So has this already been parceled off, or is it still,
Yes.
it has been?
it. Yes, go up to the top sheet, Chris.
Yeah. The blue lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and as I'll say a little bit further down, he has plans to build some retail stores, retail frontage up there on Church Road, but he's gonna focus on lot 9, 10, 11, and 12 there in the middle.
Okay. Do we have a representative
Yes.
here today that would like to speak on behalf of the project?
I'm Daniel Waters. I'm Todd's architect for the project. Yeah, we're concentrating on the 4 interior sites and the 2 exterior that are going to be later on retail that facing the street, become like, these are going to be used as office warehouse, kind of flex space. They'll have offices in them. They've got an entry door and they've got an overhead door. Our front actually faces to the interior toward the parking lot, not towards the streets. So we do have doors in front of the building, but the front of the building don't face the streets. The use of these buildings will be in such that the type of client that we might be looking for is maybe somebody that cuts grass. He's got an office that he can use, but he can store his trailer with his equipment on it inside. That type of tenant is kind of what we're looking at. Maybe the tenant that's a painter. He might have a trailer with ladders and such that he wants to protect it, and he can put that inside the building. So we're asking for this variance so that we can use that as storage for those type of items. It's not going to be your storing all your stuff at home, Christmas decorations and that type of storage.
Does anyone have any questions?
So that second part, like this in the middle, that's what the street would look like. You would see that from the road.
We have a
Does it
fence.
say-
We have a fence on the back.
Okay.
The back of the
Is it
back of the
covering
lot. The back of the lot has a fence, and the building. We don't have parking in the back. We don't have roll-up doors in the back because if you go back to the site plan, if you look at if you put parking in, I've got 2 aisleways for parking there in the front where you can drive. If I put parking in the back and approach with an overhead door, and I'd have an aisleway at the top up there, I'd have an aisleway at the bottom, I'd have 3 aisleways now. The lots are not wide enough to do that. So we felt better off just pushing the building back to the setback lines and giving all the area in the front for parking. It gives us more parking spaces, and it gives us more maneuvering for bigger trucks.
Lauren, just so you see, the metal is on this side, and that will be facing Church Road, which eventually there'll be more buildings built on those lots. And then these 2 sides are facing south towards that detention pond where Mr. Folks is gonna be. And then it's bricked on all 3 other sides around it.
And you see we have fences in the back of the building. And there will be buildings built in front of them eventually that faces out on Church Road.
What's the timeline on the retail?
Soon as market demands. I mean, say within a year, I'd like to be presenting something to them.
And they'll be brick on all 4 sides.
With glass storefronts, right?
And they'll have glass storefronts on those. They'll be the same style of architecture really with detailing and stuff, but they'll have storefronts and a lot more glass and that sort of thing in front.
So the windows added there, that's something Daniel and I talked about to give an option as opposed to the full just metal door.
That'll be in our next variant.
Correct, but just to kind of point that out, so it can all be all metal, or they're willing to add windows to it as well, so.
So conditional use is just for the interior storage.
Correct.
In C2.
And And to their east there, you've got that long, it's a very similar, older building, but it's almost the exact same thing. It's like a little office space along with roll-up doors. It was, I think it was there before we incorporated it.
Same thing to the west. Essentially.
All right, do we have any other questions for the representative for the project? All right.
My concern is it's not even meeting the requirements for the front. And the front is what's gonna be seen from the main road. And while they made attempts to add glass, nobody's gonna see that but the people that are actually renting storage. So just wanna make that.
So what she's saying is the fronts of the buildings face each other.
Inward
So-
into the property, yeah.
So you've got tenants looking at.
Yeah, if they could just zoom in on the elevations that are actually going to be facing the street until there's retail space. This is what'll be across the street from Moore's Greenhouse.
Is she referring to the back or how the doors work?
The front of the building is
It's
where
the
the
one with the
doors are, but the
right.
back of the building is metal.
Right,
And the back of the building is what faces the street.
right.
So the view from the street is the metal.
Did the architecture review make a recommendation?
Except for the fence.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so the elevations
So
dictate,
we're getting away from.
they don't say north, south, east, and west, it says front. But the front is not what actually faces the main road, Church Road.
These are
The bottom
interior
image of What
lots,
you're
so
looking at faces the side street, and the middle image is what's gonna be facing for an unknown timeframe.
There's a fence there as well, right?
they will be building fence.
So we have a proxy fence or chain link fence or how was?
It would, right now, I think the plan is to build like a good neighbor fence, the wooden fence. That's something we would discuss and determine. It wouldn't be an open gap fence, yeah. But again, we are
And we
kind
are
of talking about.
discussing the conditional use of the, so the conditional use request is for the interior storage that we're looking at right now. So,
And I guess I don't personally have a problem with the use. The issue is gonna be, can you make that use work well on these lots with the layout? Which appears to be somewhat difficult. I mean, this honestly seems like the perfect location to have rear drives, because you got access from both sides and you got your buildings lateral to the road. You don't, that seems perfect for being able to have a rear drive. I mean, I know the lots have already been split, which makes you a little beholden to their width, but I mean, to me, it seems ideal for setting up. I mean, like you said, you may need three, and you may need slightly smaller buildings or slightly narrower drives, but I mean, it seems like a great setup for that, with having access on both sides of the road.
That's just really not big enough to get the square footage to make it work.
do we have any other questions for them? Do we have anyone here from the public that's here to speak in opposition of this development? Okay. So at this time, I'll close the public hearing regarding the conditional use and open the floor for discussion from the commission. Do I have a recommendation to either approve or deny the conditional use?
Yeah, I think the use is fine. Like, there doesn't seem to be much discussion about the use. This makes sense. And,
I guess if we do recommend approval, we can add conditions on the conditional use. there's a list of things that they have to show they meet. Things like parking and traffic. And there's a list in the ordinance, but if we have concerns about any of those, we can add that as a criteria to do the conditional use approval. Well, no, the variance is just for the variance is just for the amount of window on the side of the building. That's all they're asking. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. That's all they're asking for. Right, but once we've approved the conditional use, or recommended approval, that's already in. Site plan, we can approve or deny based on the site plan rules, but that's slightly different than conditional use. Whereas,
So yeah, for the conditional use, it's regarding the interior storage.
right, and they have to show that they have accounted for all potential downsides related to using to this conditional use. I can pull it up and read the list of what they are. Zach doesn't know off the top of his head.
No, I do have them pulled up though. But Phillips is right. You can add conditions, whether that be you want the building to face a certain way or anything like that. That's what a conditional use is to, the conditions of you provided granting the use is that they have to follow X, Y, and Z. So you are free to recommend any conditions that you see.
For sure.
I think it's section 805.
805, yeah. All right, so they must satisfactorily provide that arrangements have been made concerning ingress and egress to the property, with reference to vehicular and pedestrian safety, traffic flow, fire, off-street parking and loading areas, refuse, utilities, screening and buffering, with reference to type, dimensions, and character, required yards and open space, general compatibility with adjacent properties, whether or not it will have adverse impacts on nearby properties or the community at large. Things like lighting spillover, noise, hours of operation, that type of stuff. So I guess the one here would be ingress, egress, vehicle flow, parking, screening, and yard space. Those are kind of all pertinent to this.
With this amount of square footage, some of it's based on warehousing, some of it's based on office. They've got the appropriate amount of parking. If you did flip the buildings around, you would probably have to shrink the building some, which would also reduce the amount of parking. Right now, I think my count is 100. They've got 102 spots provided, and it's only required to have 100 parking spots.
I guess with this type of development, do we expect a lot of use for that much parking? I mean, especially when they're parking their equipment inside.
Yeah, there's not the building to its east. There's very little parking there because it's mainly like construction companies, a small, which would probably be what these tenants would be, But we do have a lot of these type buildings across the city, and a lot of them are vacant.
When the parcel was subdivided, did they do like a plat, or how did that?
Yeah,
They did.
scroll on up.
So this is the plat.
Yeah,
It was originally one lot.
one big one.
They
Yeah.
subdivided.
So do they have any special rules or things they have to do for that, or it's just get that?
There's some built-in utility easements along the lines, and they should be, I think they're on the drawing.
Yeah. But as far as saying what they're gonna do with the lot, there's nothing that they have to say what they're gonna do with the lot. They're just subdividing. It didn't come with a development site.
Not no full plan, yeah.
A plat revision.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think you'll get some different type businesses over there. I think one of the biggest issues, at least for the city, is the roll-up doors up front.
Mhm.
I don't think this is an area we're gonna come in and build a big office complex, it's, it would probably be multi-unit type like this,
It's just interesting, we cut the lot so small that now we've run into a problem with the lots being too small.
Yeah, that's the developer. That's
No,
not
I
us.
understand. Would've been nice to have some.
The shape of the lot kind of dictates that too. It's got a weird bend in it, so it kind of throws off lot lines.
I'm looking at, the setback on the side, it looks like 35 feet to where that fence is gonna be, is that correct?
Yeah, it would be the Titan Lane
Titan Lane?
frontage needs to be this, 35-foot setback.
Okay. And I'm also seeing a 5-foot setback on the main road, which is Church Road. So there's, a fence that's
Well,
right
Church,
at the 5-foot setback.
well, Church Road is not in question here. This is, those lots 7 and 8 are not part of this. That's completely different. So the only frontages this has is Titan Lane on both sides. I was wondering too, like, could you not have some kind of road behind it
Yeah,
to where you had, since you own these lots as well, to where the doors can be on the back, where they can come up the back. I don't know if there's enough room, but
It would, we looked, there wasn't enough.
not enough room.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked that is because, I think what we've discussed for future development is, in that area, if I'm not mistaken, Kane, correct me, we will be requiring landscaping, and so if we do that, that is gonna set that whole section back. And in the interim, if there's a fence, he has not allowed for any type of landscaping in front of the fence either.
Well, I see what you're saying, but the only spot that's required for his landscaping is that frontage of Titan Lane and the interior, which he's got. If you would, Chris, go down the landscaping plan. He's not in between, I guess, the lot 7 and 8, 9 and 10. He doesn't have to have landscaping in between those two lots. He does, like he shows here, at the frontage of these 4 lots, as well as parking space breaks with landscaped islands. So that fence not only kind of screens some of the metal building aspect, it's also meant to screen any ground equipment as well, air conditioning units, that sort of thing.
I know we're trying to be extra careful about rears of buildings, because we've been bitten by that before, not paying attention to how they'll be visible even from off the lot. That definitely, I think I can get behind. I can feel okay about the front doors, because there are a lot of other ones nearby. Although, like we've mentioned, I think we're trying to prohibit those going forward, so it's kind of right on the line. I really hate the idea of building a metal rear facing Church Road and it's sitting there for multiple years. I know that's not the plan, but things change.
I mean, can I ask this? Would
Yeah.
you guys be willing to brick the backs?
No, they're not, especially the ones to the south. That's kind of ridiculous. From a cost perspective. I mean, sooner than later, there's gonna be buildings to the north. It would be pointless at that point. They're already bricking 3 sides.
I wouldn't say pointless. I mean, I think the city would like to see 4 brick sides on every building. Makes a nicer city.
Well, just look at what's on either side of it. There's total 4 side metal buildings on either side.
So we're fighting with what we inherited.
And
We're
I'm
working on
trying
that.
to be in the middle somewhere. Literally in action.
So regarding the conditional use, which is in relation to the interior storage, do I have a motion to approve or deny that conditional use? Because we've still got the site plan to review, even though we've discussed, but
variance.
You want to put conditions on it, conditional use?
I think the thing that makes everybody gun shy is even on Church Road had several even approved building plans that never actually came about. So it's just, it's like, oh, it's gonna be waving at everybody driving by.
You know, a condition could be bricking the four side.
In reference to the condition, I don't really see there being a major issue for what he's trying to do here. My biggest concern is, the next step that we need to take. But I would make a motion to approve the condition. Any other contingencies that you guys want to add?
Okay, so we do have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? With any condition or without?
Could we do, with the fencing in the back, like we did with Mr. Folk's property, get them to plant some tall evergreen trees along those as well?
I did like the idea of adding some landscaping there.
Yeah.
Well, that might be a good compromise as opposed to the extra cost of brick. Would that be, Joe be willing?
Wouldn't be as bad as the brick.
We could space them out and those things get tall, so.
You might have to give me some leeway, let me plant them in the winter time.
Yeah,
I don't know when these would, you wouldn't want to do that in the summer.
right, not right now. But that's something we can work out in permitting, so.
Our issue with that would be our gutters being on the back. We don't want to get too many leafy trees that would fill our gutters and stuff up.
Well, those evergreens don't shed, do they?
Better. They'll shed too.
Well, those pent needle, what do they call them?
They wouldn't overhang at least.
Won't be quite as big as a oak leaf.
Yeah.
So approval, with the condition for a landscaping plan to be approved by the board at a later date.
Yeah, I would think since we got the board meeting coming up in like 3 weeks, we can get together with them and come up and add a landscaping option on there, show them what we come up with.
Okay.
So that would be adding landscaping along the north and the north side of buildings 1 and the south sides of building 2.
Okay. Casey, are you full with that, being added to your motion for approval?
Yes.
Or the option of bricking and more.
Or option of bricking.
Yeah.
The metal side, yeah.
Of the north buildings?
Yeah, that we-
All four.
Do we
all
need to do a
four.
contingency
Even if we're
for
gonna put buildings
final
to the
approval for
south and
ARB
south buildings?
with this, or do we need to do that with the site plan or both?
Say that again, Casey, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Any, final approval from ARB?
You should be.
Yeah,
Does that need to be
contingent on that.
So, yeah,
contingent? Can that be a
contingent.
contingency with this or with the site plan, or does it need to be one or the other or both, as long as it's on one?
I think that would have to be the alderman that
Let me ask you this,
requests that.
if we got rid of if we bricked, did a half brick wall on the on the back sides of those buildings, could we get rid of the fencing and the landscape? Would that be a good compromise?
You said a half brick?
What?
That would make the metal the highest part, that's still visible.
But you're always gonna see it from the roof. In the back of that area. Until there's a building to the north. But to the south, it won't matter long. They'll build, I'm moving forward on lots 13 and 14. And then the far south too, what I'd like to do is some dock height storage. Because it's so low in that floodplain, I think that would be permissible there.
You know, the two buildings to the south, their metal back is facing south. Two buildings that will be built on the lots 13 and 14. The back of those will be facing them, more than likely. So you just want to see those metal side, those elevations.
13 and 14 will likely face the street.
Yeah, because you don't, otherwise you have to put another internal drive.
Turn in 93.
And then lot 15 and 16 will be metal back facing south, but will likely be a dock height situation.
That's a lot of decisions being made on potentials at some point in the future. That's my thought on that.
Well, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
You can do them all at one time.
Well, no, definitely.
Something's better than cutting grass.
Sure. I guess the point that I was trying to make was that making a decision on these buildings based on the potential for future buildings when what we've got in the present is these plans. So regarding the landscaping and fencing versus or alongside the approval for conditional use.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do we want that just added and given to the alderman, or do we want it to come back through park, or what do we want the mechanism to be
Yeah,
for approval?
I'm trying to create some safeguards as well.
Right.
Would we have an opportunity to have a meeting between now and for?
We'd have to do a special call, which is possible. We can get some updated drawings. For art or
For art.
I guess the question is, if all the addition is the evergreen, does that need a whole meeting, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I could tell the board, hey, the P and Z recommends it to get another look by the art, but it would be up to them to say yes or no. But hey, we like it like it is, or, and what we could do, I mean, Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, if he updates the drawings, I could email it out just to show them it's been done, and then approach on the board. Not necessarily asking for approval, but
If we make a recommendation for
the commission.
If we make a recommendation for approval with conditions, is it for the alderman, is that a take it or leave it on that recommendation, or can they can make whichever finding they want?
It's
just.
you make a recommendation to the mayor and board of aldermen, they can either accept that recommendation in whole, deny it in whole, or change it however, so they see fit.
But wouldn't we discuss the landscaping and all when we start to approve the site plan?
Well, actually, landscaping is their purview is the art.
Add landscaping.
Yeah, that's real under the architectural review committee now.
Yeah, and technically, Mr. Woolridge knew that the current design was not compliant with the art, but he said that he wanted to go ahead and take his chances and try and present it to P&Z and move forward if possible.
To me, I think if you are in favor of approving it, you approve it with conditions that landscaping be added on the north side and the south side of the buildings, or you brick those metal sides of it. Because the new architectural standards are,
Stricter.
there's about to be no more metal in this town,
Mhm.
you know, so visible metal at least. I mean, soon, very, very soon, it's gonna be whatever you have up front's gotta be on all four sides.
Casey, would you like that, motion to include, approval for conditional use, with a landscaping plan, or plan to brick north side of buildings 1
Yeah, it's just one.
Building 1,
and the south side of the other buildings?
building 2.
2.
I mean, it'd be full brick.
Does that make
Just
sense?
knowing what the future, restrictions and requirements are going to be, I would recommend, the brick, the fence, and the evergreen, just so it is even close to being
Compliant.
compliant,
Okay.
especially given the time frame that we're not sure, you know, I don't blame the owner at all, you know, it needs to grow some before he puts a retail space, or it's just gonna sit there empty, there needs to be a demand for it, so again, that would be my request, not knowing how long those structures are gonna be sitting there.
So that's all 3.
Yeah, conditions with a fence, landscaping plan, and to brick the sides of the buildings.
If we brick, can we get rid of the fencing? I mean, there's gotta be some give and take here. Can't
I
do
think
it
if
all.
there's
I
bricks,
mean, I
I
can
mean, if
just keep cutting grass if we gotta do it all.
maybe some intermittent landscaping, that would be doable. He's gonna have probably some protection. He's probably gonna want some fencing around it anyway.
Any air units would have to be screened in some fashion, if they're in the back.
If they're not doing fence, what are they doing for screening usually?
What we've had here lately is a smaller fence that's just dedicated to block 2 units. So if you've got 2 units size of this table, there's literally a screen, a good neighbor fence.
And then 2 units down. you
And then
got
2
another
units,
one.
another one down. Or you can do that with landscape.
I think it's gonna need the fence anyway.
Okay. So your motion is to approve with conditions of a fence, landscaping, and bricking the sides of the buildings. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So that's, so we can just make sure I have it right. So that was Ms. Bishop is an aye, Mr. King's an aye, Casey was an aye. and Mr.
Two
Booker and
opposed.
Ms. Myers opposed.
All right, motion carries. Okay, next we'll open up the public hearing for the request for variance for Maverick at Titan Lane.
So same situation. So, per our current architectural standards, any front that's facing the city right away, which in this case, there's 4 sides that are facing Titan Lane, are supposed to be 30% glass. And, so with this being the majority of the building being warehouse, there's only office space up front. They're asking a variance instead of adding windows all the way down that side, just to put the 4 windows in the office space part. And we did put out signs and a notice, and we have not had any responses to this. But what they're saying here is, this is just open warehouse. So that's the actual office space of the unit. It would only be on 4 sides, 2 on one side of Titan Lane, 2 on the other side. the interior parts of the building, you might have it, do not need the glass.
Don't have any questions about that.
Just to correct, so it's only gonna be the 4 windows, like, well, I guess, the very 2, and like either building 1,
Correct.
2, and then 3,
So
4.
building
the
one,
very
2
windows.
building 1, you're
The
right.
short sides of the, okay, so
Yeah.
the inside, okay,
So right here,
Okay.
right here.
So will the interiors have windows at all or no?
No,
Interior won't have windows at all.
No windows at all, but they
Oh,
might.
no, those, yeah, those areas where you got his cursor.
They will. They'll be
Very
symmetrical.
end of the buildings will.
They'll be symmetrical.
But the units that are in the very middle will not.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
that will be brick.
It's just the use of the building, the use of the building doesn't lend itself to windows.
Right, yeah, it's the.
Except for the
storage
offices are at.
space.
We did go back on the overhead doors and add some windows in there, at a higher level, so you're not really looking in to see what's inside, but that added some glass to the building.
Do we have anyone else from the public that would like to speak on? You don't have any other questions? All right, so we'll close the public hearing regarding, the variance for the glass frontage. Do I have any further discussion from the commission?
So for variance, is that similar to conditional use where it can be, what finding do we have to find for variance?
So as I appreciate it, this variance is not necessarily from the zoning.
Not the
ordinance, but it's from the architectural review. So that changes it a little bit. Typically, when it's a variance, it's under the zoning ordinance is for the shape and dimensions and that sort of thing. So this, I'm not fully familiar with the architectural ordinance to know what particular findings you must make. But I suppose as long as it's coherent with the intent of the architectural standards, that it would meet in line with.
Yeah, in my opinion, that it's reasonable because that whole backside of the building, is just open warehouse. And it's also their actual front of their building is facing inward, where there is a bunch of architectural elements and that sort of thing. So they did, once I brought it up to them, they did add these windows on 4 sides there, at least adding some road frontage appeal.
The one thing that I would like to see added, and I'd be happy to make a motion if we can get this, would be you get like a faux window or you just tile the brick where it looks like a bricked up window.
That square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could get a few of those, I think just to avoid having one solid brick wall facing the highway or the road.
It's a good idea. Yeah, just continue down with the same.
Yeah, you could kind of follow the
symmetry
same
down.
pattern, but just have it like bricked in. Yeah. Is that something
I
that,
would even say if there was like just a step out in the brick, it would kind of break up some of that length. And I think the windows, like Kane said, is reasonable.
Well, that line does step out right there at the edge of the windows, the taller part. There's a little bit of a step out in brick right there.
I think she means like carry the one along the wall. Is that what you're saying, Casey?
Where the windows are already.
What is the length of, it's about 30 feet for that first section. I don't see his
It
dimension.
looks like 40 something, 45, 40.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's shown is reasonable. And again, I think there's gonna be a fence along that side as well.
No fencing on this
Not on
side,
that
just
side.
the road side.
That's the street frontage, yeah.
Okay.
No gates, there's not fenced in. Stop.
Yeah, I would just like to see some kind of brickwork that breaks up that solid wall. to me, that seems like that would be a cheap and easy way to improve the look.
The shape of a window.
Just do a roll lock, steps out. You could do block at the bottom. You could do block all the way around at the bottom and then brick up. Especially if we're going to have to break the back up, that might be a better option. I can see breaking the ones to the north, and I wouldn't really argue with that, but the ones to the south, I think is a little much. Be a good compromise.
Still have a motion regarding,
Do we want to specify a certain type of brick addition? Do we just want to give a general, some type of brickwork to break up the?
I mean, I think give a little bit of variability to, you know, like, that our expertise is in that world either, but I did, you know, they give them some bandwidth on making it.
Yeah, I think Daniel can come up with something there and we can present that to the board. We just want to fill that gap, that blank.
If it can't be glass, at least
Right.
let it be something.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the idea of having the front stepping up as it is to keep it from being a 70-foot long.
Right, I like having, yeah, I do like the offset, yeah.
And it gives a little higher toward the front, a little less toward the back.
That's something that they like and are proud of. I think it's fine. Give them a little bandwidth on it.
Okay, I'll move that we recommend approval of the window variance conditional on the addition of, some additional brickwork on the flat brick facade, be it, fake bricked up windows or,
Faux window.
yeah, like a faux window or like a little brick, stripey.
Break, is that what you're saying?
Do what?
say that one time?
I mean, I'd rather see, instead of a fake window, I would rather see just almost like a column in the center or something, or a column at the end that steps out again.
Yeah, sorry, not like actual fake window, but like one of the, where it's the bricked, you know,
Where it looked like they bricked in.
like they bricked in an old window, yeah.
Yeah.
But a column or, yeah, some type of brickwork to break that up.
I think she's talking about adding a pilaster toward the, at the back end, maybe one in the middle.
Okay. Do we give leniency on that?
I think that's okay, yeah.
Just want to reflect it in the plans that are submitted to the mayor board.
Yeah, be reflected in the minutes, okay? Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And next up, we've got the consideration of the site plan for the Maverick at Titan Lane.
That's
So-
correct. This is the last request for, the Maverick here. We've kind of gone over the site plan pretty intensively. Like I said, the landscaping, they've done a really good job along Titan Lane, put in the required parking space breaks with some curved islands that are landscaped. One thing, so the bottom two buildings are in the floodplain, so they get full approval, they will have to do a full floodplain development permit. Those two buildings will have to be 18 inches above base flood elevation. They're aware of this, and that's something we handle after all the approvals, but those two buildings, I just want to point that out, they will have to be, I guess that's 259.6, so they'll have to be higher than the two before in front of them.
This third one.
That's zone X there.
Is it per the lot or per the?
No, it's just that the structure,
It's a structure.
just the structure, yeah. It's not the lot. We had talked in our pre-application meeting about drainage. Like I said earlier, each individual lot's under an acre, so they don't have to retain. But with that parking lot tying it all in, there's gonna be a lot of runoff. So right now it's designed to hit the outside ditches, work its way south, which is a long run for the water, but we've talked and, there's some areas on each side of the building. If they had to, they could add a small retainage there or increase the width of the ditch, or maybe even in between the building.
I guess what's the condition that would require them to do that, or what's?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird area, because like for the code, it says if your lot's over an acre, you're required to retain. But each lot is right at 0.9. But this parking lot is really tying it all in, so I would recommend letting me and Christian handle this during permitting. Once I get some elevations from them, it's one thing I've been waiting on as well. But like I said, these are some pretty substantial ditches now, and they've got a long run all the way down the pond.
Is there any plan to ever curb and gutter these roads?
Not right now.
I don't think so.
Not got much higher priorities.
Not on this
Um,
Maybe Church Road in the future, but I doubt it. And then the other thing is, like, as this development gets built out, that little pond's gonna have to get bigger.
right.
It's not gonna work. I think these buildings, what's there might be fine now, but as it gets bigger, something's gonna have to.
The question is who holds the bag there?
Right.
If every lot but feeding into it is now less than an acre, then
Right.
yeah, we need to figure out how that works.
Those are ponds now, we're maintaining it.
We are.
I think it was, that pond was originally designed to serve all that. You may have filled in some over the years, it may have to be dug back out.
Right.
Back to
Somebody,
the original size.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has to be a bigger pond.
But did they take into account this amount of,
I would say,
Yeah.
I don't know how they
you
would
know, that's a lot of
figure how
asphalt.
much is building and how much is parking.
well, the other problem is that that pond is in the floodplain too, so don't really know how it would actually function in
Right.
a real storm. It may fill up from the creek downstream before it fills up from the lot.
We've had a good flood down there once, and it did fill up over the top of the banks. I can't say that, so I mean, it's at least helping a tiny bit. We always flood over there.
It's a tough area, for sure.
But we can put some little, I don't want to call them ponds, but we put some little swell areas in those extra green areas that we have. It'll slow it down a lot.
Yeah, so if this had come in as one lot, it would have required on-site.
Correct.
So it's just technicality that it's split into
And
four.
it reads per lot, so that, and this thing's platted out, and it's kind of a gray area, even though the parking, like I said, is overlapping these lots. But the bottom line is, you're going, with all that asphalt, it's gonna create a lot of runoff.
Yeah, in an area that already struggles.
But once we have a site plan approved, our engineer will be able to do what he needs to do. We haven't asked him to finish, because if we all of a sudden turned all the buildings 90 degrees, he'd have to start over.
Right.
So after today's meeting, or after the mayor board's meeting, when we have our approval, he'll be able to provide us.
And it's something we
We'll
can,
work with Kane on that.
we can, Chris and Christian as well, make sure we get the proper calculations and runoff and that sort of. 'Cause in my opinion, like, these buildings are gonna work, but it's these next ones that are happening in the future. We're probably gonna have to spend some more money on retainage and widening the ditches. and that.
I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, for sites where drainage plans are required, that's supposed to be presented with the site plan
It
before the
is.
board, right?
Yes.
So in this case, it's technically not required, which means they haven't done it yet.
I have not gotten that.
Yeah.
In regards to the site plan, we're looking at like a modified as well. So we've got the original that was presented to the ARC, and then there's one that incorporates glass into the roll-up
Yeah, so,
doors. So I guess my question would be, which one are we discussing?
so the rendering still shows the original that was presented to you guys, and then the elevation show the windows on it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they probably prefer not having the windows and the doors, but, that's one of the options they go with, so I don't think either or for you guys.
If windows were incorporated, is that,
Renders.
what's the, like, framing situation with that? Do we have an idea of what the colors would be? Like, would it be matching the door?
It would be part of the door, the windows in the
Yeah,
door would be part
would
of
be
the
built
door.
in.
Right, so it wouldn't be framed, it would just be,
Part of the door itself. You've probably seen a garage door in a house, it's got
It
windows.
just
in
comes with a
It's-
pre-built
It's a
panel.
panel, they'll take out a solid panel, put a panel that has windows.
and in between would be the same color as the door.
Yes. And match the door that.
You did mention you could add one more row. Was that?
If that's required, we could have one more row. We
No, I
tried to
don't-
keep- we tried
I
to
don't know
keep-
that architecturally that does anything for the
So we
building
tried
at
to
all.
keep them above head high, just again, because it's, you know, it doesn't lend itself to windows.
I think the discussion regarding the windows that we had the other day was more in line with the ends of the buildings that are considered the front to have 30%. And I don't know that the windows do anything architecturally for,
So if you go to the rendering.
regarding
so
the
That's
garage
what we'll
door.
have that one.
without windows there.
They do have glass
Casey, what's your opinion on that?
I think with the upgrades that he's made, facing Church Road and, on the side elevation facing Titan, I'm good with just the regular bullet
Yeah.
doors without the glass.
One thing I like, just one of the reasons I have no problem with the conditional use, but one of the reasons I was hesitant on the motion is all the and language, and I kind of think like, if they're gonna brick the whole front and have the fence and the landscaping, like I mean, especially in that nature over there, in that area over there, at the very back, the very south side, we probably could I feel like we could let it be what it is, you know, the metal. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like we can compromise there, and I don't think it really does anything on a precedent. And that's fair. You know, we're asking them to add a whole lot, and then
On
I
the north
know
side.
that we're about to have more strict stuff, but I think, you know, if we're taking care of that front, that's what's gonna be visible. We walk back, you know, I don't think it's really gonna hurt the view from any other areas. I feel like we can give on that south side on building 2.
I agree with that.
So keep the roll-up doors without windows.
Yeah.
Focus on the north side of buildings 1 with full brick and landscaping, because that's facing Church Road. South side can stay metal of buildings 2, the two building 2s. Yeah.
But the equipment would still need to be screened.
The equipment would need to be screened, but again, that's something we will handle during
Permanent.
construction.
Yeah, since we're on a site plan, I just feel like that's,
So
I
are
feel
you
like
making a
that's a good-
motion?
yeah, I'll make that motion if everybody can be on board with that. I feel like yeah. We've asked a lot, we need to give a little if we can.
Okay.
So,
All right, so a motion and a second, and that's as presented
With
with
no windows on the roll-up doors
No
in the
windows.
south side of building 2
Stay metal.
as a matter.
but with the upgrades
so
Previously
no
discussed.
in the conditional use.
regarding the north of building 1, building 1. You got that?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I did miss a second of that.
Katrina.
For sure.
All right.
Does that make sense? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, we'll open up the public hearing request for conditional use for 927 Motorsports.
All right, Mr. Lee Soller has two requests today, requesting conditional use and a site plan. Recommendations for his new 927 Motorsports on Audubon Lane. 927 is approximately 15,000 square foot new and used vehicle dealership. A conditional use is needed for any used car sales business in this zone, which is C2. This is a high-end custom truck dealership that customizes new and used vehicles. Considering the neighboring properties or car dealerships, we believe this is a appropriate use for this parcel conditional use. We did make they recently presented to the art committee, and originally the main focus of the building was facing I-55, not the city right away on Audubon Loop. Art made some recommendations of putting more focus on the city frontage and some roof line adjustments. The owner has completely flipped the design, putting the main focus to the city right away now. Chris, if you're going down, there you go. So the west elevation used to be the east elevation. So now the building front is facing Audubon Loop now. That's where you'll see it. Right. They got away from the main focus being on the interstate side. And one of those reasons was because back to the glass requirement for your city right of ways, that made that a whole lot easier there, just flipping it around. We did make a public notice in the paper and put a sign out. We have not had any public comments so far. And Mr. Roberts here to speak on behalf of this developer. If there are any
Good
questions.
afternoon, I'm Robert Polk. Good evening, I guess I should say. Do you have any questions? We tried to, this is a building that Mr. Soller has been actually dreaming about for 17 years. He wanted to build it where the emphasis would be toward the interstate. He feels like that's, his market is out of state, most of his folks and buys, and dealers. Dealers drive over, or he sells to dealerships, I guess I should say. But he's willing to consider flipping it as it's shown here. And that's what we've come to do. We don't like doing it this way, honestly, because we're facing due west. So all this glass is obviously going to cause an air conditioning problem. We're willing to look at that.
And again, this is conditional use for used car sales.
Yeah,
And we can discuss more of that on the site plan next.
he buys new trucks and then puts all of the kits and that sort of stuff and actually just sells them back to the dealerships. But that's basically, he's one of about 5 in the nation that does this. Any more questions?
Just to let you know, this lot is right next to the north side of that height. Over there.
And this is for the conditional use of this
Correct.
lot, so,
This portion.
yeah.
Is it directly or is there like an empty lot in the middle? I was trying,
There's a new building going up right now.
Yeah. You're right, there is one lot in between those.
Okay. So that
Building.
billboard is what's on the plans right there.
Yes.
It's built right under.
It's existing, but that is,
That's coming down,
7
I
years?
think, 6 or 7 years. All the billboards coming down the city.
Oh, okay, they're phased out.
That's gonna be fun.
We'll get there, we'll get there.
Plenty of time for that. Okay. I got no problems with the conditional use. I guess if there's anything we want to add as a condition. It's the same list: ingress, egress, parking, refuse, utilities, screening, compatibility.
We've run the access for the fire department, through the fire department, they've approved it, we've addressed the trash and that sort of thing.
And he does have future plans to build some other things on the lots, but that is in the future.
So this is one parcel here?
Yes.
Okay. So he's holding the rest for future.
Drains to the north part right here.
place.
Okay, so that's all built into that drainage system
Yes.
already?
It's a big pond.
Yeah.
So regarding the conditional use, do I have a,
I would say keep in mind the conditional uses for the entire lot, so, you know, if there are any future, let's say, future used car sales that he wants to put on there, the conditional use does run with the entirety of the whole lot, not just for the section that he's requesting, just as shown by the map, so there's, to keep that in mind, is the entire parcel itself would receive conditions.
And you
Yes,
know, he's
we are.
planning to put on there in the future.
No, ma'am, I do not. I would assume he would sell it.
I think it looks good.
Sells it.
was
Yeah,
anyone,
he sells it.
It runs with the land, so it's attached to the land itself, not the individual. So it's not just for Mr. Solar, it's for the land. So
Even if it's subdivided?
Now, if it's subdivided and the parcel changes, then that's a different story, but, if it remains one lot, it is for the entire.
Again, it would just be a conditional use for used.
Right.
Correct.
More used cars dealerships. If a new car dealership came in, they wouldn't even need the conditional use.
Just for this particular use, but I just wanted to be aware of that one.
did we have anyone from the public to speak on? Y'all good with your questions? Okay, we'll close the public hearing regarding the conditional use. And any discussion between the commission, no?
I guess, did Art have anything else besides flipping?
I don't think that flipping was, did we discuss flipping?
Well,
we
I discussed
we
more
discussed the
glass on the
modifications,
frontage
but
side.
That
We
was their
didn't, we didn't
alternative.
discuss the flipping. I
And we
don't
actually looked, they threw some windows in that, on that side that was existing. And that was just going to price them out of the project. So it was almost a complete redesign too. So we, after further talks, we kind of decided, let's make the focus on the city right away and not interstate, because there's no access from the interstate.
Yeah, while I did love the idea that we have something pretty facing the interstate, what I was concerned about is across the street. And I know it sets back a little ways, but you've got our tier 1 future development restrictions across the street essentially. So, with what he had previously, I did not feel like that was appropriate or reasonable coming down Audubon. You would be looking at, that third rendering down.
This is what was facing the east, this was the west elevation facing Audubon. Now that's facing the interstate.
Too bad we can't make the whole building look pretty.
Yeah, so I suggested that we add some windows and make more of a frontage look on the Audubon side. And then I don't think it was a bad idea to flip it, but I haven't really.
Yeah, it was $75,000.
And I see where he's added some landscaping just to kind of soften that up.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so now we've got the consideration of the site plan, which we've touched on, but,
Yeah, I feel like we've got the landscaping covered. He's gonna have some nice trees for the long drive coming in, and then a mix of trees and shrubs alongside. Then he's gonna, interstate side, he's gonna put sod down so it doesn't block the view of his truck sales area there. And then again, wrapping all the way around. We got plenty of parking. Parking's actually based on the sales area. So I think we calculated 14 spots, 17 spots and 14 were required. And those above the billboard sign will be where he parks his new sale cars there. Everything's draining north to an already built detention pond that's part of the greater development area there. And this whole area, Chris and I have talked about it, as it gets built out, these two ponds that manage it, some of the people that build last are going to have to figure some things out as it has more capacity, but right now there's plenty here.
What is the lot? Is it asphalt or?
It's all concrete.
Concrete,
Yep.
okay. I guess I see the dumpster. Is that this right here by the road?
Yeah, up front.
Not the greatest place for the dumpster, but, the heavy duty concrete or whatever under the dumpster.
All the paving's heavy duty.
All heavy duty. Makes sense for
Yeah.
big trucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure you don't want to. You got a bunch of cars parked, you probably don't want the garbage truck.
Yeah, most of these
Yeah.
developments, he does
You get the
concrete.
exact reason. why it's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, you don't want it on, you don't want them driving up in there with a new car.
yeah, it's landscape, looks like.
But it is brick, it matches the building,
Yeah.
has a full enclosed gate, all of that
Yeah, I mean,
landscape.
I think, and of course, even though the interstate's right there, seeing it, there's gonna be a lot of incentive on their part to have it looking good. So the focal point's not gonna be this door, just gonna be all the trucks on the lot.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what people are gonna be looking at as they drive by.
Yeah, if you're coming in to buy one of these trucks,
Yeah.
it's not nice.
The one thing I do know we talked about was colors and finishes on the siding and,
The actual identification.
what the colors are and what materials. And we talked about it, but we haven't had samples.
Right, you do not have the formal materials.
Yeah.
We do acknowledge that.
Okay. Otherwise,
Do we want to have them provide the samples to Alderman?
do you have those?
You could do, approval contingent on the ARB.
Is that something that you've already got papers that you could provide to us?
We can provide it to you.
Okay.
That's something that obviously Mr. Stoller is pretty interested in what it's gonna be since it's
Right,
his building, so. As soon as I get those from him, I'll be glad, or he can bring them to you.
Yeah, we can present that to the board. of
High
Aldermen.
resolution images are good, or do you have images of it applied on another, building? That would be sufficient.
Okay, thank you. We can provide that.
Okay,
Do I have a motion? Casey, is that you making a motion?
I'll make a motion on final ARB contingent,
Contingent on receipt of the materials?
yes, final
Approval.
approval from ARB.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks.
All right, two more.
Okay, next up, we've got the public hearing. We'll open that now. This is for the variance of Calhoun Park parking.
All right, so this building has been around since I think 2023. And if you go to that existing site plan, so what was approved way back when was 89 parking spots for this development. Only 84 got built. Right now, there's 2 vacant units within this strip center. And Wingstop is about to move in and build out. Typically, on build outs, we don't have to get approvals. We go straight to permitting, do construction plans and that sort of thing. But we noticed with Soul Shine right there, restaurants require 1 spot per every 100 square feet. And with a new restaurant coming in there, Christian and I went out there and started doing some counting, and They only have, per the tenants that are there, they only have 4 available spots left open. So there's a total of 84 spots. And so what we've done, we got with the building owner, he got with all the tenants, and they all wrote letters saying they are fine with the Wingstop taking some of their spots. And what I did 2 weeks ago for Monday through Friday, I went to the strip center at lunchtime, at 3 p.m., at 5 p.m., and a couple times at 7, and just counted how many were taken. And the most that were taken was at a lunchtime was 42 spots. So there was an additional 40 plus spots available. And that includes the parking in the back for all the workers. So the majority of those businesses close around 5 o'clock as well. So, and believe it or not, at night at 7 o'clock, there was like 8 spots taken. So the busiest time is at lunch. So Wingstop and Calhoun Park are requesting a parking variance to allow. So what's actually required for their square footage is Wingstop would need 15 spots. There's only 4 available. So that's kind of, and our opinion is, after doing that research, we think there's plenty of parking. And with a lot of those being daytime businesses, any nighttime restaurants won't be affected. And also, it's in there, Wingstop gave some analytics on their ordering. The majority, there's a representative here today, majority of their orders are takeout. Would you like to speak?
Please.
On behalf of Wingstop?
Yes, please.
This is Mr. Charles.
How you doing? Charles Mosley, Vice President of Operations for Wingstop. First of all, we're very happy to be coming to Gluckstadt. It's been in the making for us for over 3 or 4 years. So finally, we get a chance to come here. A couple of things I want you to know about Wingstop is our business is 90% digital. Means that 60% is probably online delivery, the DoorDash and Reads, and 30% is probably people come in and get it and go. Only 10% of our customers are going to actually sit down in that restaurant and eat. And then 85% of our business is at night. We're a nighttime business. We're super busy for dinner and late night till midnight. So I've been over there as well to visit the site. I don't see any problem with our employees parking, and I know that the people will be shopping because I have plenty of parking spaces.
Do you often put like a Wingstop to go like sign where you would pull in and use that one spot?
We probably have talked about it in the designated spot. DoorDash is probably the majority of our business. We seem to be number 1 on DoorDash actually. And so we would probably put a sign there saying this is for the DoorDashers to come in and out. They're supposed to be in and out within 2 minutes. Wow. So they in and gone in 2 minutes. So there's not much turnaround at all. Thank you.
What will your hours be?
We're gonna open at 10 a.m. as all our other stores and close at midnight. We have some stores. Our store in Ridgeland is open later than most stores, but I don't anticipate a need in Gluckstadt for us to be open past midnight. Now, if it does, and Gluckstadt gets to be a big city, then I'm gonna come back and ask you guys about it. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Charles. Have you ever had their fries?
Excited about those garlic parm.
I promise you, you call us, we have to bring that.
Have we gotten any notice from the public?
No.
Okay. And
The sign's been put out and,
The only recommendation I would have would be to have Wingstop issue a similar. I looked through the backup, but I didn't see any a letter from Wingstop.
Yeah.
Is it in here?
yeah, go up. It should be.
Just saying that they are fine, and acceptable of there being 4 spots. We have it from everybody else, so just make sure that there's one from Wingstop as well.
You go, it should be right after my memo.
May have overlooked it if I did not.
There it is. We're going up one, that's the second page, there it is.
So but that's from the architects, right? I mean, from the business.
Yeah, but
itself.
Maybe so. I see what you're saying, yeah.
Just one from the entity, noting that.
You hear what they're
They're
saying?
aware.
We'll be happy to write
Yeah.
it down.
You can get me something, we'll definitely get it before the board. they still gotta go in front of the board as well.
Yeah, I think that's fine, as long as they have something in there before.
Knowing that they've only got 4
Yeah.
official spots.
Knowing that their, spots are limited and, kind of a CYA or.
Makes sense.
Was this development between the time that we went from one parking spot size to a new parking spot size? And is that why they're shorter on?
No,
Okay.
you're talking about the width,
The
when we
width.
went from 180 square feet to 200?
Yeah.
No, that was not.
Okay,
What was approved, that right there, that represents 89 spots. And talking with the owner, something happened with Entergy when they were getting power. It took like 3 or 4 of their spots away.
I was just curious, because we
Right.
did increase our size.
Right, we did increase the size, but that was after this.
Yeah.
This was 2023.
And the only other thing, what was your last name? I apologize.
Mosley.
And did we have anyone else here from the public that was speaking on behalf or opposition? So I think, if we don't have any more questions, I'm gonna close the public hearing. And, open it for discussion.
I'll move that we approve the, parking variant, or recommend approval for the parking variance.
Okay, do I have a second? I'll second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
All right, last but not least, Mr. John Giglio is, they purchased the old Angelo's building over there on Wildsburg, and started renovating it several years ago. Then stopped. Yeah, that does say future, but they put it in. Yeah, there was a lot of things wrong with that site there. Anyway, they bought this, started work, and then stopped work, I don't know, sometime in 24. And here recently, they started work back, and me and Christian, along with Mike McCollum, stopped by, and we made them stop. We found a lot of different issues, like the ADA ramp was way too steep. The exteriors weren't approved. And so we made them stop, get us some drawings, made them go through architectural review, now the P&Z, and ultimately the board. A lot of times on renovations, we don't even have to do that, especially interior. But they've been great to work with, and we went through the architectural review, and the commission did a great job of saying, here's some examples of what we're looking for this area. And to John's credit, they had just a couple days to update some drawings that were not in great shape. And if you go back to the original, to the rendering, so Casey made some great recommendations, and then John and them got together, and this is what they want this to look like now compared to the old red roof building. And one of the big things, we want to paint the red roof that everybody sees as we pass by, and then update the painting the wall exterior as well. Now, one thing they added that outdoor deck, which is really nice. I don't know if you've seen it. It's going to be a big feature of the restaurant. He's got 2 glass garage style roll up doors for bar access. And right now they're thinking of steakhouse, is what he's shooting for. So like I said, right now he's not allowed to do work until he gets a building permit. He cannot get a building permit until he gets through the board of aldermen. So one thing I told the art commission, we were going to try to get you a good rendering. And I think this is the urban bronze is what he's wanting to do, the roof and the awning. He's added that 3rd window, Casey, as you can see, and it's on the plans as well. And he's also updated it. They're going to get us some good looking window frames and door to go along with it as well. And so we're going down, Chris. So we got plenty of parking. It's a 3,300 square foot, divided by 100. So he needed 33 spots. He's got that. He's going to have to update the striping. The striping is in poor condition out there. We are getting him to add a dumpster enclosure. We worked out a spot right there. Right now, it's just a dumpster just standing out. So he's going to block one in. And the ADA ramp. So Christian worked with them. It's now going to be a wooden ramp that's going to have tiers. That's one thing he was missing. It was just a straight fashion. So now it'll go up, it'll flatten out and go up and flatten out. So,
I thought you'd have a landing every 12 feet.
You gotta go with
Christian,
I'll have to look it up. I haven't got that forward, but.
Well, I do see the landing, but I thought it was every 12 feet, but I could be.
that's something we'll have
We'll
to.
double check it.
We'll
What's
double
what's there
check.
right now
It
is,
does say,
Yeah.
vastly improved.
We might have to move that down, but Christian will be good during building at least.
We'll make sure it's ADA
It's a
compliant.
lot.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And he's also adding, if you'll scroll down one more, Chris, the first landscape plan was a little weak and, so he's adding, there's an existing tree there. And talking with John, what we're gonna do is they're gonna tear that tree down and plant 2 new ones. So you don't have this one massive tree and then this little bitty one that's growing. So I think it's a good idea. He's gonna add some more landscaping and then along the, deck and even on the backside as well. I think what he's proposing here is gonna be a really cool looking building.
I think it did. 'Cause
Did
I
it
didn't
just
touch
click?
the mouse.
Yeah.
It's a touchscreen TV.
I didn't realize it was touchscreen.
Mr. John's here. He's a great guy. I hope y'all get to meet him and eat at one of his restaurants here soon, but, y'all got any questions for him?
Good evening. I'm John Giglio. I came on board and I have to apologize with all of you because this is taking so long, 3 years, 3.5 years.
Long time,
around, yeah. I came on board of this, my stepson was in charge. He was dragging, and I tried to accelerate the process, but we came, with, some, financial issues last year, then we had to stop completely. But then I came on board and I poured the fuel for keep going. And I pulled back the idea to open Mexican restaurant and we decided to go, I'm from Argentina, I had to go to a steakhouse. I said, I don't have a choice. And well, again, I'm sorry, I have to apologize with all of you because it's taking so long and we didn't put a lot of details on the beginning. We never tried to do some cheap thing there, but we didn't know that we had to put everything on detail on the blueprints. And sorry about that, but so I promise, it will look good.
I gotta say too, that what they've done initially interior wise is really cool. They're gonna have a long bar style on this side and the big bar over here. It's gonna be a cool place to go eat. I'm really looking forward to it. We just gotta finish.
Very impressive. Also, we
I
on
just want
the
to say
south
thank
side.
you for taking these recommendations and running with them. Y'all did a great job implementing some of those ideas on the plan.
looks good, yeah.
One thing I did notice is the windows on the front elevation are different than the actual rendering. I would personally love to see some of the simulated divided light as shown on the rendering instead of, and those are some things that you can add to the window after the fact. But the placement, the size, we want to make sure that there's 30% of that elevation in windows. It looks like
Yes, a little smaller.
the elevation is, but not necessarily the rendering. So I just want that to be clear.
Yeah, and those the two outside windows on that elevation are existing windows. So he's probably going to end up matching those with putting new frames in to give us a good colored frame.
Yes.
So it will be the bigger window as opposed to those smaller ones.
So we're approving. Okay.
Yes, yes. Only that we have to
Also,
change the
there's a canopy. It's referenced as new canopy. It does not have a color on that. The rendering shows the darker urbane bronze, which I do love that, and I think it gives it some depth. So if you can match that urbane bronze for the new aluminum canopy to give it some contrast. as reflected on the rendering.
That's correct. Like every roof, including the canopy, we're gonna hold them to the urban measurements, yeah.
Yeah, we might have it.
Okay.
All good. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This one.
Yeah.
One more meeting. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, next, do we have any new business that we need
No matter.
to discuss? Do I have, our next regular meeting is gonna be June 23rd at 6 PM. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay.
Second.